This is my open world game Twisted Waters, and I just accidentally made 1 million houses for it. Buildings are the base of level design. They make the world feel lived in and immerse the player. But my open world didn't have any. It was at risk of being boring and tanking the game, and I have been developing it for over a year now. I had to add nice houses for waterbenders, except I'm not a 3D artist and I don't have the money to get one, so I had to get creative. But things got out of hand. It all started when I decided to make the best waterbending game, realistic water, cool waterbending moves, and an immersive open world. You might remember hearing about it in my previous video, but it looked quite different back then. The truth is, I was still new to Unreal at the time, so I just threw in a bunch of assets together and called it a day. But a well-crafted environment doesn't just look good, it tells a story. In Avatar the Last Airbender, you can tell who lives where. It's like the architecture almost shows us the traits of the people living there. The colors, shapes, materials, all of that contributes to the rich world building of Avatar. And I'm trying to do something similar in my game. Even though there are no other nations, just waterbenders, the world of Twisted Waters is spread across several villages. So I'm going to need enough houses to fill all of them. But I don't want the player to be stuck looking at the same building. The houses have to be different to create that sense of individuality, but at the same time they have to look good together, like they belong in the same world. It would be nice to have them in a similar style to the original Avatar series, but you know, it's too much to ask for. Because unlike Nickelodeon, who made the original series, I don't have a team of artists to help me make a bunch of unique houses, and I can't spend a few months learning 3D modeling from scratch. Another option would be to buy pre-made assets, but I'm an indie game developer, which means my budget is very tight, very tiny. So where do I go? The internet to scavenge for free assets.
One eternity later.
Turns out this is harder than I thought. There are plenty of free assets out there, but they either have a low poly stylized look, or they're super realistic and have like a million vertices, which is not usable in a real game. I have to get these houses, because without houses there are no waterbenders, and without waterbenders there is no Twisted Waters. I saw a couple of better options out there. I guess I just have to keep looking. That kept going on for a while until I found something. Generally there are two types of assets for architecture, whole and modular. Whole assets are pretty simple, it's one object ready to be put in a scene. Modular assets consist of different parts that can be put together to form a new building. And modular assets are kind of perfect because they solve both of my problems. So I just have to look for a modular asset kit. And I actually found it! By some miraculous intervention, the perfect modular asset pack was available in Unreal's Free for the Month section, and it even matches the original Avatar style. The best part about modular assets is that a little can go a long way. From even a small set of modules, you can create a lot of different houses. But what counts as a different house? Let's take a simple building and change the color of its roof. Does it look different? Yes, a little bit. What if we switch the windows to different ones? It's definitely not the same house anymore. But let's take it even a step further. Rip out the walls, change the doors, replace the wood. Whoa, that's a totally different house. So even if I have as many as 10 different walls, 10 windows, and 10 roof materials, that's already 1,000 possible houses. The probability of encountering the same house in one street is slim. Actually, I wonder what it is. I need to brush up on my probability knowledge. Luckily, Brilliant, the sponsor of this video, can help with that. Brilliant is an online learning platform with thousands of lessons in math, science, and programming, where each lesson is interactive. I dreamed about having a platform like that when I was studying computer science. Brilliant makes learning so much easier because you can visually see how your actions affect the outcome. No amount of memorizing textbooks can replace that, because you may forget things, but your understanding will stay. Brilliant doesn't just teach specific topics, it changes the way you're thinking about problems. And as a game developer, I can tell you that thinking in code is a must, which is probably why Brilliant has a course named exactly like that. There are many courses to choose from, including math, computer science, physics, and engineering. And they constantly add new ones! You can start learning today without hesitation because Brilliant offers a 30-day free trial, and then a 20% discount on an annual subscription. Use my link brilliant.org/TamaraMakesGames or scan the QR code on the screen to start your free trial. Link in the description and comments. And if you pick up that course about probability, you can tell me what the chances of seeing the same house are. You'd have to consider one more thing. Even with the same modules, you can build a ton of houses of different shapes and sizes. I didn't want to make a complicated house generation system, so I just made a bunch of these house templates and then the system just swaps the modules. In theory, this should give me enough houses to fill the map. In reality though, things got complicated. The asset that I found had a lot of useful stuff, but very few modules for the actual houses. So I went looking again and found a few more in a similar style. For my idea to work, I should be able to swap modules with these. However, the ones that I found were all from different packs, which meant that I had to manually go through them and make them uniform. Same size, pivot point, etc. And it took a long time because turns out I found more than a few modules. In total, I found 30 walls, 29 window modules, and 4 door modules. Turns out nice doors are hard to come by. Then I went to Quixel Megascans and grabbed a few roof textures. Made them in a bunch of colors, which came out to be 23 options in total. Now, if you multiply these numbers, you get 80,040. So even if I make only 15 house shapes, I get 1,200,600 different houses. I think that's plenty. Honestly, I discarded like half of the modules and materials because the number of combinations was climbing up to 1 billion, and I thought it was a little too much. But the question is, will they look good? They didn't. As I was approaching the finish line, I noticed that some parts just didn't make sense together, so I decided to group them by richness. All the assets will be assigned a richness index. Each house template will also have an index. Any part of a house must not be further than one step up or down its base index. This should ensure that all the parts match well. But at this point, I still haven't seen the houses all put together. I have already spent quite a lot of hours preparing all the modules, testing the system, choosing materials. This has to work. It's time to finish the house templates and put them into the game and find out. I am a little scared. I want to say I don't have expectations, but I do. I really want it to look good from the start. Okay, it's generating. Okay, I think it's... Is it done? Wow. They're so colorful. Wow. Look at this house. Look at this house. It just... I can't believe my eyes. It's just... They're so different. Wow, even red looks so good. I still can't believe it worked so well from the start. Now I have enough beautiful houses for the entire world of Twisted Waters, and I can finally update the Steam page. This reminds me that you should go and wishlist Twisted Waters because there is a lot more to come. The next step would be putting these houses into villages, but I'll save it for another video. But if you don't want to wait, you can follow me on other social media platforms like Blue Sky, Instagram or Twitter. And I also make elaborate posts on my Discord server if you want to know the details that didn't make it into the video. Thank you to everyone who supported me on Patreon, especially Singduan, Tuan, Emil, Delilah, Megan, Meg, Hika, City, Raimundo, Oscar, Christopher, Yingbo, Dave, Kaiser, Robert, On Jingchong, Steven, Barry, Ryan, Jake, Jami, Hansu, Nicholas, Julie, Jules, Dimitri, Andrea, Grimstate, Joel, Greedy Cat, Jesse, Enam, Screamofun, Jonathan, Mark, Yusu, Krista, Jeremy, Sound, Alan, Francis, Amy, Brendan, Bungie, Katie, Froggy, Camille, Utah. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. See ya. Bye.